lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Jeremy Lee in the building and every guest that you ever needed. Sports cards after hours keep the hobby heated. Updates, hobby talk like you never seen it. Sports cards live and none could ever beat it. Sports cards is a lifestyle. Sports cards and we live now. Welcome to another episode of Sports Cards Live with your host, Jeremy Lee.
All right, everybody, here we go. Welcome to another episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party for April the 21st, 2024. My name's Jeremy Lee. We got a fun episode for you tonight. Some great cards on the PWCC platform. Let's bring out our co-host, Joshua Madigan of the Hockey Cards Gongshow. Josh, hello, and how are you?
How's it going? Happy Sunday. Some pretty exciting playoff games so far. Do you see what's going on with this Winnipeg and Avalanche game? 12 goals already.
7-4 I had seen. Now I see 7-5. Look at that. Wow. Makar with the last goal, the power play goal, unassisted so far. Just under 6 minutes left in the third period. 7-5 for the Winnipeg Jets. That's a shootout right there. We're
getting into like football score territory here.
I know it's a touchdown for the Jets so far. Yeah, I mean, there were 6 goals in the first period alone. We'll see what happens here. I don't count out Colorado yet, but Hellebuck was looking good until the last couple, I guess. And Georgia has really been pretty bad.
Yeah, it's been a tough month for him.
It has been. The Rangers took down the Capitals 4-1 in game 1, which is, I'm picking the Rangers to win that series with my head. My heart wants to see the Caps just for Ovechkin. Florida beat Tampa Bay.
He did not even register a shot.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Rangers are going to take that series. In other action today, the Panthers beat the Lightning 3-2. That's another one where, I wouldn't mind seeing the Panthers win, but even though they're down a game, I still think, do not underestimate the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are strong. So who do you have in that series? Who do you like there?
I kind of feel like the Florida Panthers are like the Miami Heat. It almost doesn't matter what they do in the regular season, as long as they get into the postseason, that they just bring on this whole new dynamic. And it's like Matthew Tkachuk comes to life and the team coalesces. And so I think Tampa Bay's got better players, but I feel like Florida's going to win.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I put out an IG post today. I had a column of my winners. This was the head column, and I had the heart column.
Yeah,
I had Panthers with my heart. I had the Lightning with my head. But listen, I am never good at picking these things, so we'll see how it goes. In yesterday's action, we had the Boston Bruins defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-1. It's another one where, I'd love to see the Leafs get through the first round at least, but then they fall 5-1 to the Boston Bruins. I mean, that's not a good sign at all.
No.
And if Boston wins game 2, it's going to be somber at the Expo.
I know.
Right?
A lot of anxiety at the Expo if they go down.
I'm picking 2. Yeah, I'm picking Toronto with my heart. I'm picking the Bruins with my head. And then Hurricanes, Islanders. The Hurricanes beat the Islanders yesterday 3-1. I'm picking the Hurricanes all the way through there, head and heart. I just don't see it going the other way. And then we've got the Vegas Golden Knights against the Dallas the Dallas Stars. I'm picking Dallas there with my head and my heart. How about you?
Yeah, they stole my North Stars, Jeremy. So it's
that's why you have head and heart.
All right, heart says probably Dallas. Hey, did you see that magically Mark Stone recovered yesterday? And he was fully activated to play in the NHL.
Hey.
It's just amazing that doctors can heal you the exact day the playoffs start and your salary no longer counts against the salary cap. It's crazy that medicine works that way, isn't it?
If these capologists are able to work within the constraints of the cap of the CBA, then I don't really care what they do to I mean, Yeah, it's interesting. So I got Dallas there. I think they're going to win, and I kind of would hope that they would win as well. And then Edmonton, LA. It's another one where, it's easy to pick the favorites and say, oh, like Edmonton's easily going to beat the LA Kings, but there's always upsets in these playoffs, and I just don't think the Oilers are strong enough in goal or on D. And I think that the LA Kings are going to be on a mission to take them down. So my head says LA. My heart says Edmonton. I memean, I'm always going to hope for, McDavid to go far, Matthews on Toronto to go far. I want to see these things happen for the hobby and for a Stanley Cup coming back to Canada. But we will see what happens. What are your thoughts on LA versus Edmonton?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched either of the teams super closely this year, so I don't probably have the best opinion. But as you're talking, what's going through my head is the probably hobby nightmare scenario of both McDavid and Matthews potentially being a first round exit. That would be bad. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Me
too. I would much rather see them go head to head for the Stanley Cup. We know that the cup would come back to Canada, which, it would be fine. And that's not a super high priority for me. The bigger priority for me from the hobby perspective, I will put the hobby's perspective as the number one priority for me personally. And that's why I'd like to see Matthews and or McDavid make it all the way to the Cup finals and one of them to win. But I'm not picking either of those teams to get out of the first round, although I hope I am wrong. So,
okay. Well, what would it be like there though? Let's say it is Edmonton, Toronto, Stanley Cup finals. Would Canada lose its mind?
Canada would lose its mind. I think it would be, the Leafs have fans across the whole country, where the Oilers, they do too, but not nearly as many as the Leafs do. Like every team in Canada has fans across the whole country because people move around. But the Leafs, being an original six, being around for so long, they have fans, they get thousands of fans out to every other Canadian arena when there's a game going on. Thousands of Leaf or Montreal Canadiens fans in Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Winnipeg, Ottawa. They're at all these games. So I think that you'd see a big contingent of people cheering for the Leafs, but then you'd see not only the Oiler fans, but all the Leaf haters cheering for the Oilers. Because I would say there's almost as many Leaf haters out there as there are Leaf fans, because of the fact that there's so many Leaf fans everywhere. I used to go to games in Winnipeg in the 80s and the 90s, and whenever the Habs or the Leafs would come into town, I would get so mad at all the fans in our building that were cheering for the opposition. So I would just scream, "Go Jets, go louder," like the rest of us Jets fans would. And then you grew to sort of have some, intense dislike for the Leafs and the Habs way back when. So you get a lot of Leaf haters, but you also get a lot of Leaf fans. But yeah, I think it would be pretty awesome for Canada overall, and it would just be a lot of fun. So
I'm sure
we will see. Let's say hello to Chris Perkins. Name is here. What's going on, Name? Glad to have you back. Louis is here with us again tonight. We'll see you in Toronto in a few days. Todd McDonald, what's going on, buddy? Gary, what's going on? Bruins win last night and now watching another great show. Thank you, Gary, for joining us. 86 as the 80s are back, 7-5 games in the playoffs.
True.
Exactly. Yeah, Lou, a brand new quarter season. It is a new season of hockey right here in the playoffs. Happy Sunday to you, 86. Rally Sports, what's going on? Chris Perkins says, I want the Leafs to lose because, number one, it's funny how long it's gone on. And number two, I want to see what their front office does. That's interesting for sure. Laura says, no, Maroon cannot win with 3 different teams. Patrick Maroon. Steve Martin, I'm going to be in LA while Game 6 is happening, but I have a ticket to see the Dodgers and Braves with my wife, who plans to read a book while we are there. I'll tell you what, you can go fall asleep at the baseball game, or you can go watch a hockey game that's full of action. So, Steve, go to the hockey game. 86 says LA always gives Edmonton fits. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It could easily be a sweep, or it could easily go 7. I agree. 86 wants to know, who would Calgary fans cheer for? Calgary fans would cheer. Oh, that's tough, but I think they would cheer for Toronto to beat Edmonton. Calgary fans, especially if you're born and bred here in Calgary, they hate the Edmonton Oilers. It's an intense rivalry. It might be one of the stronger rivalries in all of hockey, next to maybe, Montreal, Boston or something like that. It's probably probably the second most intense rivalry there is, maybe even first. I don't know, but I think they would be cheering for Toronto 86. Steve Martin says, I try to be kind, but it's very difficult to not be annoyed by Leaf fans. Yeah, I've experienced that too. But now that I'm, now that I'm not in Winnipeg anymore, and I don't, back in those days of my life, it was very frustrating going to the Jets games when the Leafs would come to town. But now I have so many friends who are Leaf fans that I'm hoping for the Leafs. That's why it's, in my heart, not only for the hobby, but for my Leaf friends. I am cheering for them. And I have, outside of a few Boston Bruin fan friends, I don't really have any reason to cheer for the Bruins. So Jake Dahl, what's going on? Gary says, I want to see the Bruins beat the Leafs and Pasternak get some hobby love. And what about Tampa beating Florida? Does Kucherov ever get any hobby love? That would be interesting. Laura says, Steve, don't Leaf fans have their own built-in angst? Yes, they do. Curmudgeon, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Brett says, Avs fan here wondering about our goaltending. As you should wonder about your goaltending. I think it's suspect. I mean, Georgiev had a good regular season from a wins perspective, but I don't know that he let in 7 goals already today. What's the score now? Is it still set? Yeah,
Still
a minute
7-5.
left with 1 minute and 3 seconds left on my app. Steve Martin says, I hope William Nylander gets healthy. He's had a great season. I agree. That would be great. And Cass99 says the PNC Arena was crazy last night with the Canes win. Freddie was on fire. Yeah, the Canes they're a good team. I don't think they're going to have any problem with the Islanders. I saw some people say, well, Patrick Waugh has them really believing in themselves. Well, that's great, but you still need to be able to overtake the opposition. And, Carolina is no slouch. So they've got a great coach there.
But he's right. Frederick Anderson has been the opposite of Georgiev and had an insane last month. You guys barely let in a goal. It's been crazy.
Is that how you say it? Georgiev?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. That's maybe the one time that the Gong Show teaches me how to pronounce a player's name.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that as far as you can throw it either. Jeremy.
Okay, fair. And Dave Marone says the Leafs play soft. 34 first ballot regular season Hall of Famer. 34 first ballot.
I think he needs Austin Matthews. AM 34.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean Matthews. I like Matthews. I think he's a good goal scorer. But we'll see. We'll see if he can lead his team to victory here. And I don't know. I don't have much faith, to be honest. Unfortunately, I am hoping. But just like Leaf fans, I think all the Leaf fans that I know, Josh, they are bracing themselves for yet another disappointment so that they don't get all excited and then it all comes to crashing down and they're not prepared for the disappointment. So I'm prepared for the Leafs not to go.
Jeremy, I'm from Minnesota. I know sports fatalism. We pretty much get a master's degree in that growing up here. We've live a tortured existence.
Well, and coming from Winnipeg originally, watching the Winnipeg Jets, we never won anything there either. So I also have that experience as well. So appreciate that. 86, loving the PWCC hockey talk night. There we go. Brett says it's pronounced Georgiev. Georgiev. Very funny. Brett, very funny. Avalanche just scored. 26 seconds to go. It is 7-6, but I'm seeing 1 second left. And it looks like, they scored with 28 seconds left. It looks like that's probably going to do it. I'm now showing 7-6 final. That's a touchdown versus 2 field goals right there. 7-6 on the score. So pretty crazy. All right, guys. Hope everyone's having a good night. Hope everyone's had a nice weekend. It is Sunday, April 21st. It is the week of Expo, Sport Card Expo in Toronto. Josh and I are very excited to be heading there. I cannot wait. I spent a couple hours today pricing some cards. I got another box to get through and just so excited to get there. I'll get there Wednesday and check out the venue for a little bit. Make my way back in the morning on Thursday, set up, and hopefully go shopping on the show floor. So I am very excited. Josh, you're getting in Thursday morning, and you'll come straight to the convention center, I'm guessing, and start shaking hands and kissing some babies.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm very excited to get there. It'll be our 4th Expo. Probably not quite the streak that you've had, but it still has that like level of excitement that I don't think will ever go away. But you kind of layer in the a little bit of comfortability, and you're really excited. Just as to me, the Expo, and I say this all the time, it's the cards are insane. But I could go there and not look at a card and have the greatest time because there's so many people in the hobby, and just the friendship and getting to meet new people and make new relationships is a real treat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well said, man. Very well said. And I completely agree. Robert Scott says the crowd at the tailgate party in Winnipeg is wild. Yeah. Yeah. Winnipeg's got a very, very strong fan base. They may not be buying the season tickets, but they are watching that team and loving that team, even if they aren't paying to get into the building all the time, just in reference to them having some gate receipt issues over the last year or two. Rally Sports says, I'm bummed yet again. I didn't renew my passport and can't head to Toronto this week. Yeah, Rally, you're missing out, like missing out on all sorts of great stuff. So hopefully you can get that everything in order passport wise to come back in November to the Fall Expo. Guys, if you're going to be bidding on any cards tonight during the PWCC weekly auction, I'm going to put in the Sports Cards Live affiliate code into the chat right now. There it goes. And if you wouldn't mind, I'd be very grateful if you would copy and paste that link into a browser and do your bidding that way on the auction. If you can click on that link right there in the chat and go that way, that would be great too. I'd like to welcome almost 30 people watching on X right now. Welcome everybody over there. And as I often do, I forget to start the stream on Instagram. So let's do that right now. And we'll have some Instagram viewers joining us shortly, which is always nice to have. So welcome everybody to the show. Welcome to the show. And Josh, what do you say we start looking at some of these cards? Extended bidding is going to start in 13 minutes, guys. And, unlike the premier auction that happens once a month, every card is on its own timer. So we're going to see them staggered in their ending. And Josh, we got 56 cards out of 416 that we've selected to look at. And we're going to start off with some vintage. I have them sorted by earliest year, so oldest to newest. We have them all on one screen. We've got 96 selected on the PWCC site. You can do 24, 48, or 96. We got 56 tonight, so I wanted to make sure we can see them all in one window. And what we have here, guys, are 7 1951 Parkhurst, mostly rookie cards, if not all. Well, we'll talk about this one down here in a moment. But the top 6 are rookie, Hall of Fame rookie cards, and these are all raw, but they are authenticated by MBA, Mike Baker authentication. And these are in the Mike Baker top loaders with the sticker over the top. And I thought, you know what? Not everybody has to have graded cards. I'm sure some people watching right now like their cards maybe ungraded and raw. And so I thought, let's take a look at these, because this is going to be a relatively cheap way to build out a 51 Parker set. And you can nail down here 6 to 7 Hall of Fame rookies. We've got Alex Delvecchio. Now, these cards they're not beautiful copies. We'll have a look, but Alex Delvecchio, Red Wing Hall of Famer. Boom Boom Jeffreyon, Bernie Jeffreyon, Hall of Fame rookie. Doug Harvey, Bobby Orr before there was Bobby Orr, Hall of Fame rookie. We've got the Maurice Richard, the second most important card in the whole set behind only Gordie Howe, Hall of Fame rookie. We've got Ted Lindsay, Hall of Fame rookie. We've got Terry Sawchuk, Hall of Fame rookie. And then finally over here, we've got the card that is called the Winning Goal, but it does feature Bill Barilko right here. And Bill Barilko scored the Stanley Cup winning goal the last time the Leafs won the cup, and then he went missing shortly after, and then I believe was found dead, a fishing expedition or a hunting expedition, something like that. And the Tragically Hip, who are, one of Canada's most popular rock groups of all time, they did a song called 50 Mission Cap, and in it, they reference Bill Barilko disappeared that summer. He was on a fishing. Okay, it was a fishing trip. Those are the lyrics. And so this card has a very special place in the hearts of Canadian hobbyists. And many people consider this to be Bill Barilko's rookie card, even though his name does not appear in the title of the card. It is in the subtitle of the card here. I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. Barilko scores against McNeil, bringing the Stanley Cup to the Toronto Maple Leafs for 50-51. So pretty cool card right here, an awesome image, and a card that, again, is really quite important. Now, Josh, I want to do this next. I'm going to just open up images of all these cards, and let's just take a quick look at them and see kind of how they are condition-wise. I'll run through them, and when I'm done, or actually before I leave any, I'll see what you think, if anything. We got the Alex Delvecchio here, guys. This thing's pretty beat up, but at least it's got nice, natural, and uniform rounded corners. It's got serious creasing going right through the middle of it here, some discoloration along the top border, and it's off center. Next, we have the Geoffrion. Better centering. You know, the corners are rounded. You've got a crease coming through here. I think you got a crease over here. So these are low grade, I would say. Low grade. Color's decent. I just saw BC Neal made the comment. They are all pretty bright. So I think if you're talking about this, I'm just wanting to comment on the color. But then you have this Doug Harvey here. And this one is, it's got some pretty serious surface issues here. You can see these big snowflake effects up here. You've got surface issues here. And then all in this area here, you've got something going on. I'm not sure what these blackish marks are, but that's not supposed to be there. And then you can see it all over here. You've got this blemish here. Part of the M in Montreal is missing, a bunch of surface issues here. So while the card is certainly authentic, this is what I don't know what this grades, a 2 maybe sort of thing. I'd say all these cards are in the 2 range. Maurice Richard, very important card. I believe this was sitting at over $500 last I looked. $725 now on the Maurice Richard. But look at his face here. Like, it's really buggered up, this copy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like, almost looks like the corner's been chewed off a little bit. Very rounded here. Edge issues. Major surface issues, I would say. I'm not seeing creases. I'm not saying they're not there, but I'm not seeing any creases jump out at me. Rounded around the bottom here. Almost looks like what these dark marks are. Almost looks like little specks of mold or something. I'm just not sure. But pretty, low grade copy. But a lot of people, are going for raw copies, and they'll take what they can get because these cards get expensive. Terry Sawchuk. This one has way better corners and edges than the last cards we've seen, but the centering is really off to the right, and it's got some surface wear where you're right around his hair here. That's not really ideal. Looks like some wear on the jersey as well. And then this red text here is really faded. And that's one of the things that, to me as a collector, is most important, is that the red text is very bright. Let's go backwards for a moment and see. Yeah, it's light there, but you can definitely make it out. Harvey, it's fading on the Harvey as well. Much more bright here on the Geoffrion, and the Delvecchio, it's brighter as well. And then we go to the winning goal. Really bold red text down there. Good text here, nice and bold and black. The picture is pretty good, but you can see it's got its issues. It's got corner issues, rounding, dings. The centering, of course, is pretty extreme to the right. So to answer Daniel's question, these are authenticated by MBA. Daniel, Mike Baker authenticated. Mike Baker has been a guest on Sports Cards Live, and he was also, one of, if not the first grader working professionally as a card grader for PSA back in the 90s. So that's who authenticated these. He does this for PWCC. I believe he does it at shows for others as well. Craig says they don't look right. They're just beat up. They look right to me as far as, are they authentic cards? I don't think there's any reason to believe that these are not authentic cards. But I do think that, they're pretty messy in condition wise. Daniel wants to know, wouldn't have been smart to cross them over to PSA? Maybe the submitter didn't want to pay for it, Daniel. I mean, it's quite simple as that. Some people are thinking, these are pretty low grade cards. Let's get MBA to authenticate them and let the new owner decide if they want to submit them to PSA or not. But again, all very important cards. A nice cheap way to get into these Hall of Fame rookies and even cheaper, probably because if they were graded PSA 2s or 1.5s or 2.5s or 1s or whatever they would end up being, they would probably, as Daniel alluded to, still sell for more than they're going to sell for now. But you would have had to pay those fees as the submitter. So, Josh, a lot right there to chew on. Anything come to mind as I'm running through these 751 Parkhurst cards?
I agree with you. They're all very cool cards and would love to have all of them someday. In general, I'm terrified about buying raw vintage cards online. And this is where I will appreciate PWCC in that for a couple reasons. Number one is every raw card, I believe, has to go through the Mike Baker authentication in order to be listed. So you get that that comfort, right, that the card is authentic, number one. And then we've mentioned this before, but PWCC takes amazing photos and clear photos and high resolution photos. So you really get to the probably the best of any online site can examine the card. And nothing's like holding it in person, Jeremy, but this is one site where I think I would buy a raw vintage card from just because of those reasons.
And with NBA authenticating it, I mean, NBA knows what they're doing when it comes to authenticating a card itself, apart from being a counterfeit copy. So I wouldn't have any issue purchasing these if they are authenticated by Mike Baker authenticated. Craig is saying they seem too white. I'm not noticing that, Craig. To me, they don't seem too white. I'm looking at them. I've seen hundreds of these cards raw and graded. They not saying, Craig, you haven't, but to me, they don't look too white. They not at all for me, but maybe we've seen some different ones. Warrior Kid last Sunday was on the beach in one. Tonight you're at work and hoping you can get a few more cards. Good stuff. Warrior Kid. I'm going to, just to make sure because we got new people coming, I'm going to put the SCL affiliate code in the chat one more time, guys. Please do use it if you don't mind. It's very helpful to keeping the show going with PWCC. Daniel says Leafs won a cup after they found Barilko's body. That's right. They sure like 67 or something. Daniel, I believe. Professor, good evening. The Professor has a beautiful card for sale. I know he's got more, but one that we're watching tonight, we'll get to it shortly. 86, yeah, go down that rabbit hole, 86. It is definitely interesting for sure. Todd McDonald says 51 Richard is a classic image. I agree completely. Craig wants to know if they've been cleaned. I mean, who knows? You can ask, you know what? You can ask that about every vintage card on any platform, anywhere. Right now, at this point, I think it's almost just going to become redundant and will eventually become quite annoying. And not to say that there's that you should be buying cards that have been cleaned, but I'm just saying that I'm seeing it happen already. Okay. Let's close off all of those guys and have a look at the next two vintage. Now here we have a 53 Parkhurst raw, number 50. Perfect edges, perfect corners. Borders look really white to me. If I was, if I was a complete skeptic, which, I have some skeptic in me, this card looks really good. This card looks really good. And why isn't this one? So, this is one where I would definitely ask the question, why isn't this one graded? Let's have a look at the back of it. Maybe therein will lie the answer. Let's get a look at the back here. There's the back of the card, and it looks to be beautiful as well. Got some discoloration here, but I don't mind that personally at all. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This card would give me concern way more than the 51s up above. So, if Craig's card said cleaned to this one, I would say maybe. I certainly wouldn't be comfortable saying it wasn't, because this one looks a little too good to be true to me. But that's only looking at it in two dimensions from here. But look at the color. Look at next to the 54, the white on the 54. I don't have any other 53s to compare it to, but I can tell you that, yeah, this is very white, and too white for my liking. Josh, any thoughts on any of that?
You know more about vintage cards than I'll ever know, so I'm not gonna pretend to
All right.
have some sort of expert opinion. But what I would say though is we run into a lot of people, and I would even consider Troy from our show in this camp, Jeremy, where a lot of people don't like graded cards,
And
and
that's, yeah.
they wouldn't grade their. It wouldn't even occur to them to grade a card. Now you might say, well, strategically, if you're going to put your card up for sale and you're going to ship it to PSA, and you could do like $14 SGC grading. Why not? Because you'll probably get more money. So that part is maybe you could have a question around that. But yeah, I don't know about. I just we've run into a lot of people that are just not at all about grading.
Yeah. Well, this is one that, again, it's very nice, and maybe it's untouched and natural, and I sure as heck hope it is, but
Mhm.
I'd be a little gun shy right now myself, especially with all the attention on cleaning cards. And
Sure.
I had Kurt himself on my show 8 days ago, and I think that shed a lot of light on what's going on out there in the hobby for people who may not have known, or were, I don't want to say like living under a rock, because that's not fair to, you don't have to know everything that's going on in the hobby, but for people who are unaware that that's been going on for decades, actually. My hope was that having Kurt on did, really just inform people of
Mhm.
what is going on in the hobby. And with all that attention on it, a card like this, I wouldn't be surprised if this card has been cleaned, but I
Sure.
can't tell you for sure. Then you look at this PSA 4th 1954 Topps Gordie Howe, and I have no concerns that this card was cleaned. I don't know one way or the other, but it doesn't look too good to me at all. However, it is a PSA 4, and I just want to say this is a beautiful 4. But these 54s have the blue and red borders near the bottom, and if you just zoom in on the bottom left corner, you'll definitely see it's got some surface wear there. It's got some edge corner wear as well. Especially here, you got the corner surface wear where this stocky, the cardboard stock comes up a couple millimeters, it looks like, into the body of the card, but it's still really nice overall. The red edges are not great, but they're not terrible. They're not ugly or anything. And the overall image is good. Now, it's not perfect. You got some wear up here on the hairline of Gordie's head right there. Not ideal. And as I scroll, I'm seeing something come here. What is this? Do you see this line here?
Yeah,
And
I
it
do.
comes all the way up to here too. I just noticed this right now. I don't know what this is. I don't know if that's on the slab. I don't think so, because I'm not seeing it up over in this area here. This is really hard to see, guys. I don't know if you guys watching can see it, but if you look right
Mhm.
along where my mouse is, you see this hairline, something or other, coming up here, and then it continues up through the white, right up to the edge. I don't know what that is, but that I just noticed now, and somewhat concerning. But if that's if that's nothing, then this is a great card. And even with that, I'm not saying that's a deal killer for me. The card still presents beautifully from this zoomed level. Pretty nice card overall, Josh. And like, this is an iconic card. This 54 Topps Gordie Howe is on the PSA Mount Rushmore of hockey cards over the actual Gordie Howe rookie. So this is a great copy. I say that with a caveat that I don't know what this issue is over here that I was pointing out. Josh, what do you think about this card?
Yeah, it's actually really unique, right? Because so much emphasis typically goes on the rookie card, and this is a few years after. It's his first Topps card, so I don't know if that's where the significance lies. But it's just a really nicely designed card. It's a great image. Gordie's looks pretty regal in it and powerful, and yeah, if you're a Gordie Howe collector, I think you would want the card. I'm not typically a facsimile auto person, but in this instance, it actually doesn't bother me.
And that's the only way, like these early 50s Parkies, that's all you get are cards with the facsimile auto. So not
Mhm.
the 51s, but the 52s, the 53s, the 54s, and then
Yeah.
the 54 Tops as well. So yeah. All right, guys, we are into the first extended bidding. So let's keep on rolling here. We've got a Bill Barber. Now, he's a Hall of Famer. This is an O-Pee-Chee PSA 7, 1973. Tough year with these colored borders, very similar to the Gretzky. But look at this. This is great. I'm surprised it's only a 7. This looks really good to me. Look at those corners and edges. Not perfect, but the corners show like a pinpoint of white. But this is a great looking card. It's a fisheye right there, but that's not too big of a deal. I'm surprised it's only a 7, but I haven't looked at the back. We've got a 1976 O-Pee-Chee Bobby Orr, card number 213, Chicago Blackhawks. And this card, it's a BVG 9, but this is, look at this, guys. That is not a photograph of Bobby Orr, I don't think. This is a airbrush sort of Photoshop-y job. They didn't have Photoshop back then, but you know what I mean? So it's just a funny card. Just something doesn't look right about this card, image-wise. But I thought it was an interesting one to highlight. And then we got a Gretzky rookie, a 79 O-Pee-Chee. The card is authentic. The autograph is been graded a 10 and authenticated. The autograph is pretty nice. The card itself, you're not buying this for the condition of the card, although I would always be sensitive to that, buying an autographed Gretzky rookie. But in this case, you can see right away it is off-centered. It's got, look at the top right corner here. It's got all sorts of little white creasy lines here. Tons of fray coming off the edges, which doesn't bother me. You come down the left side, the really, really heavy O-Pee-Chee rough cut right there. Tons of fray coming off all 4 edges. You got something going on here. And then you got this corner pretty banged up with some creasing and that. And of course, the magenta plate was basically, printed next door on this card. And so the registration is not very good. You can see right up here how the word Oilers is quite a bit higher than the word Edmonton from the plane from a plane perspective. And then even in this border here, the red, look at those. You can easily see the red plate, the magenta plate coming into this white border. That should not be there. So, but the autograph's beautiful. Really well laid down. Nice Gretzky auto. So take it for what it is. If it's something you're interested in, I think it's a decent copy to have a Gretzky autographed O-Pee-Chee rookie. Josh, any thoughts on these 3?
Yeah, I have a comment on the Gretzky rookie, and you're gonna have to stay with me for a second here, because I'm gonna make the argument that I would rather have an in-person auto on a card like this that isn't so mangled, but isn't so nice that you would feel like, dang, I wish this card wasn't autoed. Is this making sense to you at all? It's like, would you rather have the in-person auto maybe alter in some way, like an 8 graded card that is in so nice condition that you'd almost wish the auto wasn't there, versus having the auto on a card that wouldn't be very interesting to you without the autograph, but now maybe redeems it a little bit. Am I making sense there?
So, yeah, I understand what you're saying. My personal position is, and I where I'm not sure what you were saying, and just because I was a little distracted, is I'm not sure if sorry, very quickly, which one do you prefer, the high grade with the auto or the low grade without the auto?
I would prefer a lower grade with an auto versus a high grade
grade
with an auto.
Okay. Me too. We're on the same page. Yes, me too, because I would rather preserve that high grade copy without an auto. Yes. Yeah, same page, Josh. That said, I guess it really depends. Like and the professor asks me here, he says, how would you compare the auto of the Gretzky rookie card to the one that you have, Jeremy? Because I have an autographed Gretzky rookie O-Pee-Chee as well. My autograph is way different than this one. This is a more modern Gretzky autograph here, done in Sharpie. The Gretzky autograph on my Gretzky rookie card is done in ballpoint pen, and it's done in his rookie year. So it's got a very primitive version of his autograph. So how would I compare them? My answer to the professor's question is I would compare them by saying they are very, very different. I prefer mine because I know I'm like 90% certain it was signed during his rookie year, just based on the provenance of the collection it came out of. So I prefer that to one that was autographed by Gretzky, in 2023, let's say. I think it's cool that the one I have, he held and autographed back in 80 or something like that. So, but yeah, Josh, you raise a great question there. And, you know, at the same time, I think your question really applies to somebody who has Gretzky rookies and is going to see Wayne and say, I got to decide which one should I get him to sign for me. And now if you could pick, but if you're just buying an autographed copy, I'm going to want the nicest one I can get overall, right? But at the same time, I'm going to balance the auto to the card. And like this card, I don't know. Like I don't love the heavy OPG rough cut. I like a more subtle one. And of course, you know, centering comes into play. But listen, it's still an autographed Gretzky rookie. And if this was an 8, let's say, or even a 7, I think it would and should go for a lot more money. But this is already at $3,300. I don't know where it's going to end, but it's a pretty cool card overall. And the autograph is wonderful. It really is. Okay, let's keep on rolling. We've got an 83 OPG Gretzky PSA 9. And like, you know, this card it's not a huge card in the hobby, but it is like, what is it, his 5th year card or so. And it's one of my favorite images of him on any of his regular run base cards. So it's a 9, but the centering's pretty bad. Like, look at that centering. It's way to the left. But as we know, PSA's centering standards are really loose. So this is probably still within a PSA 9. But the more important thing about this card, from my perspective, is that so many people are out there collecting the Wayne Gretzky OPG base card run, myself included. And this is such a wonderful card. I would, if 9s are kind of, if you're comfortable paying average 9s for this 83, I think you could do better. I think you can get a better PSA 9, like centering wise, for your collection, but you should be able to buy this one at a discount. And if the set registry and the grade point average is important from you from competing on the set registry, this might be a good way to get into a cheaper PSA 9, but you get what you pay for, because this is to me like a bottom quarter, it's not. This would have the opposite of an eye appeal sticker. This would be like, to me, a bottom 25% of the overall 9s out there. And then we have an OPG Lemieux rookie PSA 8, which I haven't looked at closely yet, but like, look at the centering on this. It's no worse than it's better than the Gretzky over here. Of course, there's more to a card's condition than just centering. So it is coming in as an 8, but I'm not seeing really anything. Well, it's got a little corner edge issue, I should say, right there. Bottom corners look good. The side edges look good, except for what I just pointed out. This top edge has pretty serious OPG rough cut, but that shouldn't impact the grade. Decent copy overall. If this card can be a 9, all else being equal, this should be a 9 too, but really tough to know. So Josh, why don't we get your thoughts on these 3 copies?
Yeah, I would agree with you that the 83 OPG Wayne Gretzky might be my favorite just card that I just like the look of. It kind of checks all the boxes. You got the Jofa helmet there present. I love the design of the card, and I'm a huge fan of the classic OPG logo in the lower right-hand corner. And so
I know you like that.
Yeah, love this card for that reason. On the Lemieux, I agree with your assessment of it. The only issue that I personally would have is, well, you're right, that top edge is not going to affect the grade. I like my cut more even, and so that would give me a little bit of a pause there.
And okay, well, thank you for those, Josh, and I'm with you on them. 95 Be a Player die cut autograph. I always kind of get this wrong. I think this is his first or second pack pulled autograph. Maybe his first is from 94, the where he's in the NHLPA jersey, which I think there's a copy. Was there a copy in this? Maybe it's in next week's auction. I've seen one recently in any event, but $270 for this. And it is the die cut version as well. So something to consider for people that are looking for an early pack pulled Gretzky autograph. Before we continue, we'll hover here. We'll go to a couple comments right away. Justin Bode, always good to see you, buddy. Good evening. The professor wants to let us know that his vintage cards in the auction tonight that he pack pulled and can attest have not been soaked, sprayed, or polished, but I cannot attest to the vintage cards that I did not personally pull. No, you cannot, Professor. No, you cannot. Justin says the Howe looks very white. He's talking about this one up here, the 1953. He's talking about this card right over here. He says those cards have cigarette smoke damage all day long. Yeah, cigarette smoke damage and just general aging of the fiber. I mean, I've got some 53s and they don't look as white as this. Go look at all the Belleville rookies out there as well. And you'll see that this one looks, again, a little bit too white. Laura says CSI work for 60-year-old cards, buyer beware. Yeah, on some, definitely. That's why it's important to understand what's going on in the overall hobby for sure. All right, Justin, Wayne doesn't sign. He signs it, Justin. There's some more and more of them coming out. I think that's sort of rumor, if it was ever true, is no longer true. I don't think. Professor wants to know if you did have an appointment with Wayne to sign an autograph, what pen would you use? I would use a Sharpie nowadays, Professor. They just show up so much nicer than a ballpoint, for sure. Chad Bellany, welcome to the show. Jonathan Clark says the Gretzky rookie at REA is 94,000 before BP. That's a beautiful PSA 9, actually. Very, very nice. Justin Bode says the Lemieux rookie is looking into his soul. Hilarious. And Laura wants to know thoughts about the 79 Peachy unopened case and the oops. That's it. It was an oops for sure. Nothing much more right now, Laura. All right. 97 Yager SPX Gold PSA 9 Pop 2, none higher, sitting at a measly $29. Not bad for a low pop Yager card. That's, I'm not a huge fan of these, but so many people are. So check it out. This card, I feel like this card sold not too long ago on the platform. Ed Belfour Gold Refractor PSA 10 out of 50. Josh, this must be a resell?
I think you're right. I will look it up. What a cool set, though. Very big fan of this set. And so I think any card, this is one of those sets where you just want any card of any good player that you're going to be happy with.
Yeah. They're awesome. Yeah, have a look. They're numbered out of 50. It's a gold refractor, 2003 Bowman Chrome. Eddie Belfour, he's a Hall of Famer. I think these are gorgeous cards. I believe our good friend Mitch Grotman collects this set, so he's probably got this card already, or else he's bidding on it. This is a PSA 10. Awesome cards, beautiful cards, and really cool here, guys. This is an unopened pack, a sealed, graded, unopened pack of 2005 Upper Deck Series 2. So this is the pack that may contain an Alexander Ovechkin Young Gun rookie card. That's the draw in this pack right here. $200 for the pack itself. Josh, were you able to find out anything about if this is a back-to-back?
Yeah, not quite back-to-back. It sold on March 10th, so a month and a half-ish or so ago. And it sold for $168. So it looks like somebody might be flipping it.
All right. And Justin, yeah, that's a cool Yager. Ali is watching the Canucks Predators game at the same time. Nutty save by Demko. Highlight reel for sure. Thank you, Ali. Good to hear. We'll see what happens there. And Bob Boozle says, this is the only show I watched this week that didn't elevate my blood pressure. Bob, come here to settle down and just relax, buddy. Relax and don't put your health at risk for sure. We have a 2005 Trilogy Alexander Ovechkin rookie. This is numbered out of 999. This is a PSA 8. And, this was the Trilogy were important rookie cards back in the day. The brand has lost a bit of its luster, I would say, but this is still a really cool card, especially when you put it beside the Young Guns, which is out of, tens of thousands. This one is out of 999. And I do love I love the Trilogy and the Artifacts rookies from the mid 2000s. We've got a second year Crosby autograph from Ultimate Collection. PSA 8, beautiful card. This is such a great looking card. I've had several of these over the years, and just such a great design. 06 Ultimate, really well designed in my opinion. And then we have from Ultimate, but this is the next year, 07 Patrick Kane, rookie year Ultimate Collection autograph. Not a rookie card, but a rookie year autograph. Pretty cool. At $280, Pop 9 at $280. Josh, any thoughts from you on like Trilogy and Ovechkin, or the two Ultimate autographs here?
The Ovechkin just is really nice looking card. So I think I would enjoy owning that card, and I haven't looked up the comps or anything like that, and can't imagine it's too crazy if it's out of 9.99. And then I agree with you on the Crosby. It's a beautifully designed card, and I love,
Mhm.
you'll hear me say a lot, when they design auto cards and they give the auto a specific place on the card that isn't on top of other text or a stick or something like that. Where and especially when you have Sid, who's got such a beautiful signature, to really let that be a focal point of the card.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, kind of what I was, what you articulated much better than I did. What I basically said, I just think these are great cards. I love them, well designed. I've brokered several of them.
Mhm.
You explained why I like this card so much. So thanks for doing that, Josh. I completely agree. We have a Steven Stamkos SP Authentic Future Watch Auto Rookie, numbered out of 999 in the BGS 9.5 holder. And this is a great card. From here right now, I'm going to open it up. The autograph, I have to see it. I don't know if it's fading or not. And yeah, it's definitely fading in this area here. You can
Mhm.
see. So if this is a card you're interested in buying, make sure you are okay with a partially faded or starting to fade autograph, because this autograph is not fully intact. Don't let this gray Beckett 10 autograph fool you. This is something that I think they have to stop doing, is grading these autographs, because look what happens. This is not a 10 autograph, but Beckett tells you it is. And I just cannot get behind grading autographs on cards anymore, guys. I think it's just not something I get behind. I think it's irresponsible. But people will pay for the 10 grade regardless. So yeah, take it for what it's worth. But despite the autograph, an important card. I love the card. I pulled one and I won one in Pack Wars way back in the day. And this one's only half a point away from being a BGS 10. If edges or surface were a 10, this card would be a 10 as well. And it would be pristine as per Beckett grading. We have a Sidney Crosby game used team marks, the U from the word Penguins, numbered out of 50. This is not a game worn patch. This is a manufactured patch, but he did autograph it on the game worn patch. Right there is his autograph. A very small Crosby auto, but that is a Crosby auto right there. The card is graded authentic, and the autograph is deemed authentic as well. So
Mhm.
take it for what it is. And then finally on this row, we have a 2009 Patrick Kane honorable numbers. I love honorable numbers, and I also love the 09 design. So clean. BGS 9, $260. Not the most impressive patches on this one. And let's take a look at the autograph as well, see how it's holding up. Yeah, you can see this autograph is holding up way better than the last one we just looked at with the Stamkos. But the only issue is, this stroke over here, from right here all the way across, he let up on the pen. That's not fading. That is from Patrick Kane's hand. The reason why the pen just kind of didn't stick all the way across. Josh, if we could get your thoughts on any of these three cards, please.
You have some thoughts on the Stamkos card and just the grading in general, and I don't mean this to be catty to the grading card companies, but because they're just following market trends. But I feel like the whole any innovation in grading is sort of a race to the bottom right now. So it's how do you make the cheapest slabs produce so that people can get it graded for nothing and fast. Where I almost wish that there would be like a higher option where you're going to pay more money for the grade. It's for your PC, but that the grading card company would invest in a slab that had protected materials in it so that you could enjoy the card and see through it, but that would also protect it from fading and things of that nature. Because I know that that technology does exist, and and if you have a $10,000 card, you might not mind spending $200 to get it slabbed in a slab that is going to ensure that your auto doesn't disappear, like we saw with the McDavid RPA and the PWCC Premier.
Yeah. Yeah, the Premier 101, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
that was a faded auto as well. Let's do a couple comments quick. The professor tells us that the Jagger SP happens to be his card. I thought it was an SPX card. I think, yeah, the SPX, I think this is the one he is talking about, the professor. So good luck with your sale there. It's only at $30. Hopefully it goes up from there, professor. Chef Ferguson, yeah, the Jets game was pretty exciting. 13 goals in that game. Robert Scott thinks that Lemieux's rookie is grossly undervalued, 1/10 the price of a Gretzky on average by grade. 86 says the Beckett auto label is tilted on the auto, and Samko says, yeah, well, that happens with Beckett. I mean, Beckett slabs are often very loose where the label is, and these labels can easily slip out. Yeah, that I don't like that either right there at all. And then Hobby Champ says that tiny little Crosby auto. Yeah, it's kind of cute, isn't it? For sure. For sure. All right. And Ali says, I saw a graded Patrick Opeachy rookie that has a blank back. Some people think that is from the top of the wax box. Have you seen this before and know about that? Not sure what that is. I'd have to see it specifically. Okay. We've got a 2011 Parkhurst Champions Wire Auto Patrick Waugh, Pop 1, none graded higher, $170. When these cards came out, they were all the rage. One of my best hobby buddies built the whole set, the singles, the double autos, the triple autos. I've had several of these over the years, different cards from this set. They're made to look like a wire auto. Whether these were actual original photos, like press photos, I don't know. But I maybe they weren't. Tough to know. But in any event, it was a beautiful set, all black and whites, and it really took the hobby by storm for a while there. This is the professor's card as well, who's with us on the show tonight. He is selling this card from his collection. So, hey, give it your consideration tonight if it's a card you all might be interested in purchasing. Followed by 2 Bobby Orr autographs. We have the all-time greats Letterman and the all-time greats Shining Moments. This one's out of 30. This one's out of 75. That must be a manufactured patch. This is hand numbered on the top right. Let me just show you guys this. There's the hand numbering right there. That to me isn't the nicest hand numbering. I don't know, but who cares really? It's about the card and the Bobby Orr auto. I say who cares flippantly because this is still a pretty cool card. And then we've got this one here, the Shining Moments. Let's have a quick look at this one and just see hand numbered right there. At least the number is hand numbered in the same color as the autograph. Or on this, right on this one, you got silver and you got blue. Over here, you got gold and gold. Pretty cards overall. Yeah, a couple of Bobby Orr autos. Josh, any thoughts on these before we get through a few more prior to the first half-hour window closing?
Well, the Letterman would almost have to be manufactured, right? Because isn't the deal he won't sign any memorabilia that's sliced and diced?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
That's about my only comment.
Chef Ferguson is Jason. What's going on, Jason? I did not know that was you. Hope all is well. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, man. All right, let's keep on going. We have a Nathan McKinnon 2013 Cup Gold RPA numbered out of 29. So this is his main Cup RPA, but this is the gold version. Number to the jersey number 29. Looks like it's number 10 of 29, I believe. And the auto. So there's the patch, 3 colors. Not the most beautiful patch of all time, but definitely a 3-color patch. Autograph looks pretty good. I don't think this is fading as much as just the way McKinnon signs, and he lightens up on his pressure when he does his big loops. So a very important card. And, he got beat 7-6 today by the Winnipeg Jets. We'll see what happens there. Here's his young gun in a PSA 10 sitting at 725. And here's a Connor McDavid rookie card. I think this is an underrated and underappreciated. I love these Black Diamond rookie gems rookie card. I believe it's out of 399. Yeah, numbered out of 399. It's a PSA 8. Now this card, it's a little bit thicker than your standard card, guys. It's not like 130 point. It's probably like a 75 to 100 point thick card. And they're just made really well. I'm a big fan. He kind of looks a bit awkward here in this picture, right? But I'm a big fan of this card. I almost bought one at an Edmonton Expo one time. I didn't, and it is what it is. But I really like this card just for what it is. It's a nice way to get into a McDavid rookie. It's out of 399. His Young Guns is probably out of 300 million. Let's be more reasonable. 300,000, 80,000, somewhere in that range. It's a big range. This is out of 399. This card's at $230, where his Young Gun in a PSA 8 is going to be nothing shy of $600-700, maybe even $8 or $9. So I'm a big fan of this card. Justin Bode says he likes it too. All right, good stuff. Professor says the only thing I can add to the Patrick Waugh 2011 Parkhurst wire auto is that it came from an LCS in Calgary, probably Canadian pulled. Probably Canadian pulled. I would think so too. Josh, did you have any comments on these three?
Yeah, well, just the I know it's still alive, but the fact that a McKinnon Cup Gold RPA out of 29 is less than half or less than double what his base Young Guns is PSA 10 is kind of shocking to me. I mean, that seems like that's a bigger card than a $1,500 card, doesn't it?
This is criminally low right now to me, because in the cup you've got your base RPA out of 99, and then you got the gold RPA, which for the longest time were out of the player's jersey number, and then they just switched them to being out of 12 or 24. This is back in the jersey number days, numbered out of 29. Now, for certain players, once you get over like 60 or 70 gold copies, most people would just rather have the true RPA, the silver out of 99. Yep. But this is out of 29. There's only 29 of these, and he's legitimately a top 3 player in the league. Some would say the best player in the league. So yeah, this is an absolute steal. I don't know comps, guys. I don't know comps. I judge this. My gut tells me this is an absolute steal. Now, this is $1,800 with buyer's premium, so keep that in mind. But definitely, I think a great card. Let's try and get through some more here, guys. We've got a rookie year 2015 exquisite Connor McDavid quad patch numbered out of 99, BGS 9.5, no auto, but a gorgeous card. I love this card. And it looks to me, yeah, this is a true gem. All 4 subgrades are 9.5. So a really awesome card right here. And look at, you've got, let me open it up. I'll just open it up for a moment here. You've got 3 color patches and 1 2-color. So that's pretty sweet. Really, really great card right there. $1,900. We've got his O-Pee-Chee Platinum Marquee rookie card. This is the main rookie from O-Pee-Chee Platinum, the base rookie PSA 9, sitting at a measly $62. And then we've got a nice Patrick Kane Supreme patch from 2015, graded BGS 9.5. I don't know that the grading is going to add any value to this card down the road. Most people like this card as it is. Raw, so very interesting and a nice card overall, in my opinion. These Supreme patches have done really well over the past, really since they came out. They're very popular cards, and I'm just going to delete a comment. No, I'm not actually. I'm just going to do that really quick. We don't need the trolls in our show. All right, Josh, any comments on these 3?
Some amazing patches. That McDavid patch, if you're into, like you've said, you're not as much into rookie patch autos. You like the patch cards, you like the game used from the second year. I don't know if that exquisite is game used or event worn or whatever it is, but it's a beautiful rookie patch card for McDavid. And then the Blackhawks patches are just sick. And whoever was the patch implementer at Upper Deck did a phenomenal job with this specific card.
Yeah, okay. I think they do take good care with these Supreme patches when they place those patches on the cards themselves. All right. Well, we had a Mikko Rantanen PSA 10 Young Guns that sold for $86. We had 4 PSA 10 Austin Matthews Young Guns. So let's see what they did. This one has sold for $990. This one sold for $1,020, and there's 2 still going. This is at $960 right now, and this one is about $950 or $940 or something like that. So they're still going, but those 2 have sold. But we also have the 2016 employee exclusive Connor McDavid PSA 10, $1,375. It's a pop 4. Josh, I want to open this one up. I actually want to see the back of this card. I'm just going to shut all these windows here really quick, guys. I don't like keeping too many of them open. So look at the back of this card. It's not numbered, but it does. Yeah, there's the back. It's an employee card, and the front of it has that Golden Treasures look to it.
Yeah, very much that Golden Treasures vibe.
Right. It has the Golden Treasures vibe. On the one hand, I'd wish that they didn't use the Golden Treasures stock on a card that isn't numbered out of 1. but at the same time, it's a special employee exclusives card, and it's really nice. What's this sitting at right now? 1650. 1650. Yeah, what a great looking card. If this was a rookie year, if this is 2015, I'd be all over it. Oh, and it's sold for 1650. Okay, I didn't even notice. I guess we've passed.
Which is a record high, Jeremy, for any. It's the first PSA 10 that's sold, but the previous high was 960 from April of 2020 for what looks like a BGS 9. Oh no, that was the auto. I'm sorry, that was the. So yeah, I mean 850 was the previous highest sale. So more than just about double.
Right on. And I just want to go back to the cane here, because Cards AH makes a good comment. Says, I like the Supreme patches. They're a great entry point for game use patches, especially with what limited logos sell for. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this one, $132, and you could have picked yourself up a really nice Patrick Kane. We got one Matthews left up here. Beautiful Gretzky auto sold for $14.40. This one did $14.40 as well. Kyle Connor had a couple goals in the playoff game tonight, guys. PSA 10 is at $45. I don't know. That seems cheap to me. He's a great player. He's literally a great player. Congrats to Larry, won the 78 O-Pee-Chee PSA Brian Sutter for $10.
Wow.
Congratulations, Larry. Professor says, are you both surprised no Kucherov card? I'm not surprised, Professor. I'm not surprised because the PWCC week hockey, representation on the weekly auction, it's always different. It always gives us, Josh and I, we always kind of talk amongst ourselves. We're like, these weekly auctions often have a theme to them, whether it's the C56s or the raw 51s like we saw tonight, that sort of thing. I'm not surprised at all, but I also wouldn't be surprised if there were some. So just nothing that I am. Just to answer your question, Professor, I'm not surprised by. Josh, are you surprised by that?
Not really. I mean, he just does not have a lot of hobby love. Like, one of the things we looked at for our show tomorrow is the elite level players that had legendary seasons, and we looked at. You look at like a guy like McDavid, who has since the start of the season has had about 1,000 cards sell for $1,000 or more. Jeremy, Kucherov is at 10. There just is really no hobby chase.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting stat right there. Congratulations, Hobby Champs won the 93 Donruss Elite Inserts Lemieux PSA 8, numbered out of 10,000. Congratulations, Hobby Champs. Fun card right there. All right, let's get through what's left here really quick. We've got a Connor McDavid Fanimation BGS 9.5 at $360. Great card, love it. I used to own one, I don't anymore. We've got the Upper Deck Credentials Ticket Acetate McDavid out of 199 PSA 9 sold for $29. The Cale Makar Young Gun Canvas PSA 10 sold for $250. Sorokin PSA 10 Young Gun did $43, and a McDavid Jambalaya from 2020 Metal did $360. Alexis Lafreniere SB Authentic Future Watch Auto still alive at $725 in a PSA 10. He had, 29 goals this past season. Lafreniere might be onto something. We'll see what happens. Next year will be the telltale sign if he can follow up a good year with an even better one. Cole Caulfield, SB Authentic Future Watch Auto does $312. I mean, Cole Caulfield, Josh, has a lot more fans, I thought, than Lafreniere, and Lafreniere's twice the price here. Can you explain? Is there a reason? Is that a population issue? What do you think that's all about?
Yeah, I don't know where. Well, is it because it's the retro? Does that have something to do with it?
Oh, which is the retro?
The Caulfield is the retro.
Caulfield, sorry. Thank you. That definitely explains it. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Thank you for that, Josh. I just, overlooked that. Okay. 2021 Upper Deck exclusive Sidney Crosby out of 100 PSA 9 sells for $35. 50. Josh, if we got through this earlier, I might have thrown in a bit on this one. The Brady Tkachuk Premier Star Systems autograph. I just think it's such a beautiful card. Who cares about the grade? So nice. And then we had the Matthews Gold Seismic Gold Preview, numbered out of 25, sold for a measly $96. Connor Bedard Young Gun Raw authenticated $3.25, and the PSA 9 here still is at $390. We have the PSA 9. This one sold for $444. Oh, this one sold for $468. There we go. These have sold. $468 for the 9, $324 for the raw, $444 for this 9, and the employee autograph sold for $2,370. Josh, any comments on these Bedards or the preview Matthews?
Yeah, the previews don't seem to go for as much as the regular OPG. Not really sure why. One of the nice things about the previews is that they actually have lower serial numbers. So the Seismic Gold in the previews out of 25 versus 50 in the regular. But the hobby's fickle.
Yeah, no, for sure. You're right. I don't like that they say if you open this up. Let's open up this
it says
card.
preview on the back.
Yeah, and right here it says previews. Can you guys see right there? Seismic Gold previews. So I guess what it comes out in, like, what does this come out in OPG paper?
OPG paper, yeah.
So it says OPG Platinum on the back, 2022. This is just a way for Upper Deck to add more hits to OPG.
Yeah.
And they're challenging their own product that comes in later, being the real OPG Platinum, where the Seismic Golds are out of 50, and they make these out of 25. So it's kind of like, okay, we know that these are less desirable because they're a preview card. So let's make them more desirable by cutting in half the print run from 50 to 25. I'm not a huge fan of that strategy. I understand why they do it, but to me, it cheapens the Seismic Golds.
Yeah.
I don't know what the alternative is, because they need hits for the people. So,
and something happened too with this. Well, it's 2021, where for a year, OPG Platinum was on fire. All the big cards, whether it be the Seismic Golds or even the Red Prisms, Emerald Surge, Orange Checkers, it was record after record after record, and then that it was very much anticipated 2021 release that came out that was a disaster, where the cards were so off-centered, and it was like a balloon where you could see all the air just deflating out of it. And I don't know if it's really recovered since then. I mean, Seismic Gold a year ago, Jeremy, it wouldn't matter if it's a preview or not. This card would have sold for double.
Yeah, I think you're right. How about these young guns? The Bedard young guns, the raw does 3.25, and the 9s are doing $450 on average, $444, $468 here. How do you think that's looking for the PSA 9 young gun Bedard?
Well, the gem rate's about 46% right now, so you're going to have just probably about 50-50 chance of getting a PSA 10 versus a PSA 9, and then whatever lower grades will be the smaller amounts that trickle in there. I don't love a PSA 9 because the PSA 10 pop is going to be so huge down the road that if it's a PC play and you want to grade a copy and you don't care if it's a 9 and you don't care about long-term value, I would wait it out. And, I think these would be pretty cheap in a few months. We're already at 1,700 PSA 10s.
We're down to 1,700 on the PSA 10s.
Where we're already at. Yeah, it's already climbing. So it's been a month and.
Oh, sorry. You're talking about the pop count, not the value.
Pop count.
Okay.
Yeah, the pop count.
Yeah. Justin says Josh was right. Patience was the play on Bedard. And not taking away from Josh, but I was also right, Justin. I've been preaching that since the moment those cards. But listen, so many people were saying that it was the easiest. If you could short sell these things back when they came out, that was the easiest call in the world. We've seen it too many times. And if you were someone who bought a Connor Bedard Young Gun out of the gate, you need to start watching the Gong Show and Sports Cards live, and you will not make that mistake again in the future. We will definitely help you out with that. Okay, well, listen, let's see. Most of these cards are now sold. Looks like, let's see what's left. We'll go to the top here and let's hit refresh and see what's still alive. We got the two Gordie Howes are still going, the Bobby Orr, the Gretzky, the Belfour, the Bobby Orr Auto, the McKinnon, and the Kyle Connor Young Gun. Everything else has been sold. Let's go through some sold. Well, hold on. We're about to have another update here. So anything that was red will now be sold. Give it a second here. So the Gordie Howe PSA 4 sold for $1,050. The PSA 9 fifth-year Gretzky sells for $222. Interesting sale there. I'm not crazy about this 9. The Bobby Orr all-time greats auto sold for $100. That's so cheap for a Bobby Orr auto. So cheap for a Bobby Orr auto. Thanks, Justin. I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that. The Alex Del Vecchio raw Hall of Fame rookie sells for $60. Again, it's pretty beat up.
Mhm.
The Jeffreyon does $180. The Doug Harvey does $180. The Maurice Richard $870. Like, this is $180 for these cards. That's about right, and that's about as cheap as you can get into these cards for. So congratulations to someone who's chipping away at their set. $174 on the Lindsay, $516 on the Sawchuck, $156 on the winning goal Bill Barilko. The Bill Barber PSA 7 rookie, beautiful 7, by the way, like stunning 7, sells for $84, while the Gretzky rookie autographed sells for $3,960, and the PSA 8 Lemieux does $564. We got 3 1/4 on the Gretzky auto, $37 on the Professor's Yager, $240 on the pack of Series 2 from 2005 that could have a Alex Ovechkin Young Gun in it. The Trilogy Ovechkin rookie does $372. The Ultimate Crosby auto, 3 1/4, $336 on the rookie year Kane Ultimate auto in a PSA 10 holder, $372 on the Stamkos faded auto, $312 on the mini Crosby auto, $312 on the honorable numbers Patrick Kane from his 3rd year. The Professor's Wire auto Patrick Waugh PSA 9 does $204. Seems like a good deal to me. $312 on this Bobby Orr auto, a lot more than the one we saw above for $100. And the McKinnon does $870. $372 for one of my favorite McDavid Black Diamond rookies. This beauty does $22.80. The O-Pee-Chee Platinum Marquee rookie does $74. We saw that. We've seen $16.50 on the Employee Gold. Looks like a Golden Treasures McDavid. And then a quartet of Austin Matthews PSA 10 Young Guns, $990, $1020, $960, and $990. 2 beautiful Wayne Gretzky autos. One does $1440, the Cup Brilliance, and the Cup Hall of Fame does $1440 as well.
Are you a Cup Brilliance guy? Do you like those cards in general?
I'll tell you, some of them I think are horrible, and some of them I think are very nice. This year, I believe, is one of the nicer years. When they first came out, they were like 240 point thick. They made them unnecessarily so thick, ruined the cards for me. Then they slimmed them down. So I believe this is one of the slimmer versions, I think, and I certainly like this more than I like the older ones. Why, Josh? Why do you ask? What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm kind of a fan. I generally don't like the thicker autos, but I like how they kind of do the color match on the Brilliance cards. And what I like about this card in particular is it's the only one they've made 7 or 8 years now of Gretzky Brilliance cards in different cup sets. This is the only one where he's in the Campbell Conference uniform, and that gets me all excited. Like, that's my I love the orange, white, and black of the old Campbell Conference.
Yeah, agree. The Fanimation does $432. The Credentials ticket, $29. I think that's a cool card. We saw Makar $252 for the Makar Young Guns canvas. The McDavid Jambalaya does $360. There we go, $870 on Lafreniere, $43 on Sorokin. And there you go, guys. We've seen the rest of those. So let's go back all the way to the top. We've probably run through another level here. And Justin made a comment here. He said that Howe rookie card, not a rookie card, Justin, but you mean the first Topps Howe, did look good until we saw that line across his shoulder. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Chef Ferguson says, man, I love those early 50s cards. I'm a Cup Brilliance guy, but yeah, I know you are, Jason. He's been a fan of the Brilliance cards for quite some time. And Jason, I want to ask you, like, how do you like the early versions of it when they were so thick versus the newer ones where they made them like more like 130 point or even 180 from when they were so thick? Which did you like better? Some people might have liked the thicker versions better. Justin Bode says that Cup Brilliance card looks good without looking into it. I love old Campbell stuff too, Campbell Conference stuff too, for sure. So let's see what else is sold up here. We saw 222, 103. Okay, nothing else. I'm going to hit refresh. Let's bring the cards that are still going. And we just forgot to do Survivor tonight, guys. I even had my card. I told Josh we'll it doesn't matter because I wouldn't have won, but my pick for Survivor tonight was going to be the Fanimation right here, the McDavid Fanimation. But we forgot to do it. My apologies. The Bobby Orr just sold for $198. Okay, more have sold. $18.90 for the McKinnon Gold RPA. $77 for the Kyle Connor PSA 10. Again, 2 goals tonight for this guy in the 7-6 win over Colorado in game 1 of the playoffs. And $60 there we saw. So we're down to 2 cards. The Belfour PSA 10 03 Bowman Chrome for $140. And the somewhat suspect 53 Parkhurst Gordie Howe at $430. So I'm going to hit refresh one more time to make sure I didn't miss anything. I did not. We have 2 left. Want to go to Jason's reply. He says the first year was amazing for Brilliance. The second issue was boxy and light and felt cheap. Since then, they've been better quality, especially the thinner stock. Yeah, I'd be all over the thinner stock too, Jason, who is also Chef Ferguson. Jason is a chef in Banff. Jason, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, he's like a gold star chef at a fancy restaurant in Banff, Alberta, where people from all over the world go to ski. So he's also a lifelong collector and local to me here. So really great dude. The Professor says, "Did you win it, Professor? Did you win that card? If you did, if you did, you have my complete support on that, man. I think that's a great buy for under $2,000.
Oh, huge buy.
My God.
Huge buy.
He must have bought it. Why else would he put it there? Yeah. I fully support that pickup. Josh Packham says, I was able to win the McDavid Platinum Rookie PSA 9. Not sure if it was on your watch list. It was. We did have it on here. We had it on here. Let's see. Let's go down to 2015. Here it is, 74.40. Congratulations, Josh Packham. Way to go. Way to go. And the Professor says, agree with Josh, having NBA authentication gives you confidence as an expensive raw card like the Upper Deck McKinnon. Certainly does. Certainly does. All right. Oh, Jason lets us know 3 Ravens. That was the restaurant. It's closed at the moment, but he's still cooking in Banff for the Banff Center. Lots of conferences. Good stuff, Jeff, Jason. Good stuff. All right. Back to the top, guys. Back to the top. Professor confirms he did pick up the McKinnon. Yeah. Smart buy. I think that's a good buy. And I mean, listen, yes, they lost 7-6 tonight, but I still think that they can beat the Jets in that series. My heart's with Winnipeg, don't get me wrong, but I can see them beating Winnipeg in that. I want to welcome again we got 40 people watching on X/Twitter. So welcome to all of you guys. As always, Instagram, we got a few people coming in and out. Instagram's interesting, Josh. We probably get, I'm going to guess, I'm scrolling through, probably get 250 people coming through on Instagram, but in any given time, we have like 3 to 10 people going on Instagram. They kind of come in and out. It's not the easiest show to watch on Instagram, but if anyone there wants to watch bigger, come over to YouTube. It's a much more pleasant viewing experience, I would say. So Steve Martin here, where'd it go? Steve Martin says that McKinnon is a scorcher. Very good. Yeah, that was a great card for sure. The Canucks are losing 1-0. I'm picking them to lose that myself as well. And Hobby Champ says, does PWCC still have a relationship with PSA where you can have them send your raw cards directly in for grading? I think they do, Hobby Champs. I as far as I know,
they don't. They don't currently.
Oh,
that could change because we got to remember that PWCC for a year has been owned by Fanatics, right? We forget about that a little bit. And Fanatics, I think, has been a little more friendly with PSA, if that's a good way to put it. But you can get graded directly with SGC, Beckett, and CGC through PWCC.
Right. Yeah, that's right. PSA, I don't think PSA ever had that relationship, but now that, as Josh says, now that PWCC is owned by Fanatics, and I think that's going to open doors for PWCC that were closed before because of the battle between PWCC and another auction house, and everything that went on with eBay and all that. So I think under Fanatics leadership, I think that the PWCC platform is just a completely different. It's a completely different. Like there's different people working there now than before. So it's different. So but Hobby Champs, yeah. I don't think they do, but I think it's probably going to be coming at this point. Justin Bode wants to know, Josh, what are PSA 10 Bedards going for now? You mentioned there were 1,700 of them. We're up to 1,700 in the pop report. What do you see them selling for right now?
I think they're selling right now anywhere between 1,000 and 1,200.
1,012. Yeah, they were $3,000 out of the gate, I believe. Professor says, I saw lots of fans wearing the Winnipeg logo sweatshirts at the rink. Yeah, there's going to be lots of Jets fans in Colorado, and vice versa. There will be. Professor says, but PWCC does have a method for you to follow to indirectly send from your vault to PSA. Just ask them. So you can do that as well. All right, let's see. Let's go back and see where we are at. We've got 2 cards left. We got the Ed Belfour, Gold Refractor, and we've got the Gordie Howe. I'm actually going to do something a little crazy here. I'm going to come out of the favorites, and let's go to all of the items. Should just be hockey. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, we still have hockey checked off. We do. So out of all 416 items, guys, there's only 4 left. We only selected 56 of the 416, and two of the remaining cards were from our selections. The other 2 remaining are the Nick Robertson clear cut from 2020 Upper Deck Young Gun PSA 10 at $76. The other card remaining, I don't know why I didn't have the Red Kelly. So that's an oversight by me. This should have been on our watch list, guys. But the raw Red Kelly's at $130 right now. Kelly, Gordie Howe, and Robertson all need to bid in the next 3 minutes and 15 seconds. We are in the final 5-minute extended bidding window as well, guys. Keep that in mind. Meanwhile, the Belfour is going to go into the 1-minute windows, which are going to start again in just over 3 minutes. So we will see what happens there. Steve Martin says, so many developments happening recently. It seems like there are acquisitions every week. Kind of scary. Yeah, is it going to ever stop? Is it going to stop? What does sort of steady look like in this industry now moving forward? I just don't know. We will see. And the one thing that I'll say, in spite of all the corporate activity and all the hobby drama and all of the from the Kurtz card care cleaning stuff going on to counterfeit slabs to the deal, the trade of golden auctions for the collector, the PSA vault, and all these things. With all that going on, like, we still have the power within us to enjoy the hobby for what it is, which is our collections. And I personally don't let any of that stuff get in my way from enjoying my cards.
Well,
even the ones that are in my collection that are that likely have been, cleaned, or the odd trimmed card that I own slabbed. I'm not going to let that all I'm not going to worry about that myself. I'm going to enjoy my cards and enjoy my collection like I've been doing for almost 45 years now. Nothing extraneous is going to ruin this hobby for me. Josh, please jump in.
Yeah, I was just going to mention it's the old Native American tale, the tale of 2 wolves, right? It's the wolf you feed is the one that wins with inside. And so if we're all susceptible to whatever hobby drama is going on. It's very intriguing. It's very clickbaity, and none of us are impervious to it. But at the end of the day, because we're hearing a lot of people that are very frustrated with the whole Bedardapalooza and saying the hobby is ruined. It's like, it's one player. There's like a million other great cards. The 2003 Bowman Chrome goal, I could spend a year collecting that set and be happy as could be and not give 2 hoots about Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
Because I'm choosing not to. I made a very conscious decision knowing that the value is going to be insane. It's basically you're buying lottery tickets with these 2023 boxes right now. You either get smoked or you hit a big Bedard card, and I didn't want to play that game, and so I just refocused my energy, and I've been very happy.
Smart approach, buddy. Smart approach. Justin Bode says the same thing. I don't let drama get into my collection, baby, or my people. Very good. I'm with you, Justin. That's the best way to approach it. And there's there's drama out there. There's all sorts of, and I'm not saying any of it isn't warranted, but how you exist in the overall landscape of the hobby, the environment, everything going on around you, you could easily get turned off and say, I'm just not interested anymore. Or you can keep tabs on what's going on, keep yourself informed for what does go on in this hobby, whatever it might be, and still enjoy your cards. And no one's forcing you to buy anything. So, you don't have to buy a card that you might later regret. We've now seen the Red Kelly sold for $156 and the Nick Robertson $91. And we are left with the two that we had. So now, we had two of the final cards. Actually, the two last cards to survive were two that we had on our watch list, and that was a 1 in 8 chance of that happening. So pretty cool there. Proud of that. Interesting cards. We've got the 53 Gordie Howe with the really nice corners, edges, and color. Looks really, really good. Too good. And then we've got the 2003 Bowman Chrome Gold Refractor Ed Belfour, numbered out of 50, and a PSA 10 holder at 185, which is more like 220 with buyer's premium. A great card overall. Justin Bode says he'll take the Gordie to remain until last. And no, it just sold for $552. So it's the Belfour that would have been the winner tonight. Professor used the SCL, the Sports Cards Live affiliate link, to purchase the McKinnon card. Thank you very much, Professor. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure it will work. The codes do tend to work. So thank you very much for that. Greatly appreciate it. Jonathan Clark says, bottom line, know your seller or auction house. Yes and no, because yes and no, Jonathan. And the reason why I say that, I think you make a good point here. And I think you mean really well, but I don't know that you can stop there, because your seller may not know where they got the card from. Like, I can know my seller, but does my seller know their seller? And did that person, there's a chain of custody. You have to work it all the way back if you really want to know the source of the card and whose hands it's been through and what they may or may not have done to it. So knowing your seller is one step, but it certainly would not bring me complete comfort unless that person pulled the card, I guess. Same with the auction house. These are all just consignment sellers, right? So it's tough. It's tough. Laura says, is Bedard a card that you would want to hang out with versus Ovi or Lemieux? Not me. Ovi, Lemieux over Bedard all day long. Now, that may not be the case 5 years from now, but for now, that's the case for me. Josh, nodding in agreement?
Yeah, I've been a little conflicted on the whole Connor Bedard thing, because I've seen him play a lot. I made a point to watch him this year, and the eye test is incredible. The numbers, though, I mean, am I going to get struck by lightning any second here if I say that it's like somebody was asking us recently about comparing Bedard's rookie year with Victor Wembanyama, and Victor Wembanyama on the basketball side has had a historic, maybe the greatest rookie season ever. You can make a legitimate argument for that. It's been insanity. And Bedard, it's like, nah, it hasn't been bad, but it's like, I don't know if I'm shelling 20 grand for SP game used non-auto, non-memorabilia cards and stuff that's out there. And so I like the kid, and you can tell he's supremely talented when you watch him play, but there's a lot of, that has to happen for him to some of these cards, Jeremy, are priced. It's like you could score 100 goals next year, and it would be tough to even justify the price that they're going for. And that's the whole hype factor kind of thing. And so I'm just going to wait. I'm going to be very patient and let the dust settle. There's a couple cards of his that I would like to have, but I'm in no hurry to get them.
Yeah, you mentioned that SP game used. I think it was numbered out of 5 that sold for 20,000, or at least that's what the comp showed. Who knows if it got paid for and all that, but I mean,
did get paid for it. It wasn't Terapeak, so if you trust that
$20,000 sale, I would, if I were to lay odds or make a bet, I would say that card will lose 80% of its value relatively quickly. Now there's only 5 of them, so how's that going to happen? We have to see more sell or the same one sell, but that 20 grand I'd consider 15 of that lost right out of the gate. There's no way that card is worth $5,000 a couple years from now.
Well,
No
I was
way.
talking to Troy about that yesterday, and what I told him, because I went through this like thought exercise on my own, where I said, if I having no context of and no any other copy having sold, if I pulled that card out of a pack and I was gonna buy it now, I think I would have done like $2,000. Like legitimately, like I'm an idiot. I would have lost 18,000 because that's just like where my head is at with cards like that. And so it's just it's crazy. The whole madness. And God bless you, people are having a lot of fun, I'm sure, but just my own collecting sensibilities, I'm just gonna be very patient and wait.
Yeah, me too. Very, very patient for sure. We're down to the one card, the Belfour, $300. It needs a bid in the next 2 seconds, or this will sell for $360 out the door. And it has sold for $360 out the door. I think that's a great card. That's maybe you could say it's expensive for an Ed Belfour card from 2003, but at the same time, this is probably the coolest Ed Belfour card that doesn't have an auto and a patch on it. I love it. I love it. So congrats to whoever bought that right there. I want to thank Hobby Champs for telling me to make sure to bring up that there's zero extra cost to buyers when they do use the affiliate link. That is true. Thank you, Hobby Champs. I'll try to remember to say that moving forward. And Justin, a very nice comment, says Jeremy makes it easy to be informed. God bless hockey and the fact we have Jeremy and we now have Josh and Troy too. Thank you guys. Thank you, Justin, for that. I think I'm realizing just how many uninformed people there are out there. And that's not an insult. That's just a matter of where you are in the hobby, how long you've been in it. And, if you want to be in this hobby and you're spending your hard-earned money on cards and you want to, mitigate your risk and mitigate the losses you may take in the future, I say may strategically, watch content, watch hockey specific content. If it's hockey that you're interested in, watch the Gong Show, watch Sports Cards Live, listen to these podcasts, the Hockey Card Hangover, new one, the Center Ice, the Center Ice
Cardcast, I think.
The Center Ice Cardcast is another great long-standing hockey card podcast with Eric and Aaron, great guys. Check out their podcast. Soak the stuff in, learn about the products, but most importantly, learning about the products is one thing. Learning about the experience, especially, and listen, I don't want this to sound bad, but someone with 40 years of experience watching the hobby is gonna be able to spot a pattern and a trend. And I'm not the only one that can do it. Other people can too. Even Josh knew, not even Josh, but Josh, the same thing. Josh knew that the Bedards were going to come down in price.
Even dumb people like me knew.
Even people, but you know what I mean? Even people that haven't been in the or focusing or immersed in the hobby for over 40 years. It's not rocket science, but some people just don't know. And that's fine. Hopefully those people are going to learn their lessons quickly, fail fast, and move on from there. Hobby Champ said, with the down goal scoring season McDavid had, if they get bounced from the playoffs, I would be buying his stuff all the way from then until the start of next season. Rare opportunity. That's actually a good point too. If his stuff, if they get bounced early and then his stuff comes down in value during the off season, might be a good opportunity to get in on some of his stuff on the low. And when next season starts up and all the hopes are on McDavid and the Oilers again, and you are just getting in and out of cards, that might be a time to sell, but it's also a good time to buy, in the next couple months if they get bounced early, and just for long-term holds as well. Because, the longer you wait, I think the better you will do with those cards. The professor says, as a side point, all of my cards in the auction, my Seth Curry graded rookie got the most bids, and a 1956 Topps Ted Williams was second. I have also entered SCL under submissions tab where it asks for a promo code, but do not know if SCL. Yes, Professor, thank you for doing that. And SCL does get credit for that. I am seeing it. So thank you very much for submitting under the SCL affiliate code as well. Laura says, if you ate in the hobby as an adult, but act like a 12-year-old. If you are in the hobby as an adult, but act like a 12-year-old, that there's no shortage of that either, Laura.
But isn't that why we're all in the hobby? So we can act like we're 12? That's why I do it.
It's so
I don't
we
ever want to grow
know.
up.
Let me just make a subtle change to that, Josh. It's so we can feel like we're 12,
There we
not
go.
so we
There we
can
go.
act like we're 12.
There we go. I like
so we
that.
can feel like we're 12 years old again. And I support that all the way. All right, guys. Well, Josh, that brings another one to the end. Next Sunday, no show because we will be finishing at the Expo. The Sunday after that, again, likely no show because I will be driving home from the Edmonton Expo. So next weekend and the weekend after, at least for me and for the Sports Cards live content, no Saturday night at SCL, no Sunday night PWCC hockey for the next 2 weeks. So keep that in mind. I will miss all you guys for sure. Bob Boozle waiting for mom to make s'mores. Nice. Thank you, Hobby Champs. Appreciate it. Neil.
Oh, hey, Jeremy, we probably should mention, though, next week in the PWCC Weekly, although we won't be doing a show, a huge card, like a massive card. Speaking of Bedard, the Connor Bedard, this first one I've seen, a Connor Bedard high gloss out of 10, I think it's a PSA 8.5, is in the auction, and it'll be the first high gloss to sell.
Well, not only, okay, so next week's auction is amazing, and it's too bad that we won't be here to do it because you've got the Cyclone Taylor PSA 4 selling. You've got the Newsy Lalonde. This is a really tough card. PSA 4. Here's the high gloss Bedard, PSA 8.5 at 4. These top 3 cards, you've got 2 of the earliest pioneers and Hall of Famers, and then you got the latest guy right in between them up here when we sort by highest price. But you look at the 2 Art Ross rookie cards, PSA 5, PSA 3, a nice 3, by the way, and this 5 is going to go for big money. That's a really strong grade for this. You got the Skinner Poulin, you've got the Frank Patrick, the first hockey card ever. Lester Patrick, he's a Hall of Famer in the players category. Frank in the builders. You got the Percy Lesueur PSA 6. These full body shots, these non-portraits are almost impossible. And this one is unbelievable. So is this one, the Jack Marshall. Here's the other Jack Marshall in a 3. Dunderdale. You got Edgar Day, Harry Hyland, DeCarey. All these wonderful C56s. Look at all that. Look at all these. There's an Ovechkin Young Gun, PSA 9 Messier rookie, more C56s, a Gretzky PSA 5 O-Pee-Chee, which actually, let's have a look at this right now for anyone who might be interested in this next week, and we won't be here. But like, okay, so centering, it looked really good, and then I look at it, it's got some pretty obvious counterclockwise tilt going on. But other than that, I mean, the edges, the corners look really nice. The registration's very strong. The centering, the tilt does bother me, but outside of that, this is a really nice copy on the front, Josh. Really, really nice copy.
Yep.
Continuing along on this page, let's see. There's another O-Pee-Chee 5 right here. More off center. You got a PSA 8 O-Pee-Chee Lemieux. Steve Yzerman, Tops 9. Here's a PSA 8, 74 Tops, Bobby Orr. Patrick Kane, 2020 Fleer Retro PMG, green. Yeah, so a nice Gretzky auto. Ovechkin, 2012 Fleer Retro, PMG Blue, PSA 7. It's got this print line through it, but that only brought the grade down to a 7. Gretzky auto from Upper Deck.
That's a cool card.
Industry Summit card. Yeah, that's neat. So there you have it, guys. There's a Bedard Young Gun PSA 9. We saw like 3 of those tonight. This is cool. This is the Legacy Row 2 Ovechkin out of 150 and a PSA 10. Kind of a nice. I'm not usually a huge fan of these Legacy Row cards. But that one looks pretty cool to me. So Gretzky Tops PSA 5. So next week's auction is actually pretty awesome, and it's too bad that we just won't be able to do the show because we'll both be traveling or on the road for the Expo. But
you can make the argument that Bedard high gloss is the biggest Bedard card to date to go up for sale.
For sure. I think that goes without saying. Now, yeah, so if that SP Game Used card sold for $20,000 and there's like no equity attached to that brand as far as that particular card goes, this one should triple. Like this could be a 6-figure card. This could be a say maybe maybe this is a $75,000 card. If that BS SP game used card out of 5 sold for 20 grand, how is this not double or triple that? You know, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'll be watching it from Toronto next Sunday night.
Totally.
I'll be watching for sure. A couple comments have come in here. Robert Scott, we'll see you Thursday for appetizers. Upper Deck is supplying the appetizers, but it is the networking event, but we'll see you there. Neil says, so what I'm hearing is if you don't blow all your money at Expo, there's still a chance to do so next Sunday on PWCC. Yes, there is. Thank you, Ali. Appreciate that. You'll make it to the homeland at some point. 4 more sleep, says 86. That's right. Professor says, I had to make a decision. Gold McKinnon versus 2011 Topps Trout Update Gold. Yours and Josh's did help sway me. I think it's the better buy. I do think it's the better buy too, compared to a Trout. McKinnon's won. You know, he has won, and he is a top player for sure. Professor says, will you and Josh be posting on Instagram from the Expo, especially Thursday Jack Asters? Want to see a pic of those Upper Deck comp? Well, Upper Deck. So I'm the one ordering them, guys. Upper Deck's paying for them. I'm going to be ordering them from Jack Asters, and we'll have like a buffet out for the attendees. Laura, thank you for your time and knowledge. She says makes making the Monday work clock in all the better. Thank you, Laura. Really appreciate that. Justin, thanks so much, buddy. Yeah, we got to see you at the Expo, dude. That would be great to have you up there for sure. All right. Let's wrap it up. Josh, thank you. Thank you for your color and your thoughts and knowledge and experience on all these cards and chat. You guys are awesome tonight. As always, thank you. Josh, final comments if you want to, mention the pod dropping later tonight or anything, and then we'll wrap up.
3 a.m. Gong Show. If any of you are going to be at the Expo, please come find us, and I would love to meet you.
Come by my booth, 733, and ask me if I've seen Josh. That I couldn't tell you how many times that happened in November, where I'm at my booth and someone would come and say, have you seen Josh or Troy? Have you seen the Gong Show guys? I'm like, yeah, they were just here. So I don't mind being the person you ask where Josh and Troy are.
Well, you have a home base, so we just float around. So
yeah,
people know where to come find you.
You probably put in 60 to 90 minutes a day hanging out at my booth and talking to people and all that. So if you come by 733, you've got a good chance of running into Josh there too. And then you can see, we can both shake your hand and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So everybody, hey, have a great week ahead. It's Sunday night. Good luck. Have a good Monday back at work, and be safe until Expo. And then let's all run into each other at Expo and have a great time. Thursday night, the event I organize at Jack Astor's, the networking event, the Expo kickoff event. And as was just mentioned, Upper Deck is providing the appetizer. So thank you to Upper Deck for that. Very classy of them. Josh, with that, we'll see everybody this weekend, everyone who's going to be at the Expo. With that, this episode of the PWCC Weekly Hockey Auction Ending Watch Party is now over.